WHIP.
That's us. We're back here. Philly's #1 college radio station, WHIP. 215-204-9449 is the number if you want to call and hang with us. Temple Owls football is back in action this Saturday. They have the Cherry and White game. Make sure you come on out and support the Temple football Owls and Matt Rule's first year as the head coach. And we're now joined by Chris Coyer, who's a senior for the Temple Owls this year. Chris, it's Zach Gelb, John Henry, and Hayley Condon. How you doing?
Doing all right. It's good to be here. Thank you for having me.
Well, we thank you for coming in studio. And there was some big news that we actually had first about you, that you're possibly making the change to tight end and an H-back kind of set. How'd this whole move come about?
Well, I had a meeting with Coach Rule. It was kind of a joint discussion, and told him that I'd be interested in making the move, and so we tried it out, and we're trying to kind of see where that's going right now.
How familiar are you with this kind of position? Because you've been predominantly a quarterback for, I would imagine, all in high school and in college. How familiar are you with the tight end position?
Well, I've been playing quarterback my whole life, of course. I started when I was 7, but in high school, when I wasn't playing quarterback, I'd play tight end and defensive end. So I've done a little bit of that in the past, but it's fun to just go out there and see if I can make some plays.
I know Coach didn't rule out the possibility of you returning to quarterback and that there's still going to be a big battle. But let's just say Notre Dame comes and Connor Riley is the quarterback and you're playing in that tight end set, maybe a little bit of an H-back as well. How much versatility does that bring to your offense where you could possibly have two quarterbacks on the field, two players that could throw the ball at the same time?
I think it brings a lot of versatility, and there's a lot of different things that we can do. There's a lot of different ways that I can line up, and knowing the offense as well as I do, I think that really helps.
What is this offense going to look like? Because when Rule took the job, he came into us and he said that we're going to throw the ball a little bit more. We're still going to run the ball. But what's this offense going to look like?
It's going to look just like that. We're going to be throwing the ball a lot more than we're used to around here. We're still going to be running the ball, not getting away from who we are. Still going to play a tough brand of football. But it'll be exciting to watch, I can tell you that much.
Chris Coyer joins us in studio, Philly's #1 college radio station, WHIP. And it just seems like this year that the players have a good relationship with Coach Rule. Do you kind of get that feel? I know he recruited a lot of you guys.
Absolutely. He actually recruited me. He recruited me, 5 years ago. He was my position coach for 2 years. So, I'm real comfortable with him. Most of the guys on the team, the vast majority, are very comfortable with him. We all love him as a coach and as a person, as a man.
So, Chris, do you think you're going to play almost every snap, out there at tight end, or are you like in a halfback, or is your playing time going to go down, you think?
Only time will tell with how that's going to work out. We'll see where it goes from there. We still have a full camp to go through before we get to the season, so we're just going to have to see how that all plays out.
What's this QB battle been like? Because you have some pretty impressive quarterbacks on that list and a lot of guys that had experience last year.
It's been competitive. It's been great competition. It's made everyone better. Juice is a guy that can really throw it. He's had a little bit of experience last year. Connor's a guy who's coming up and has a little bit of confidence right now, and he's playing really well. And of course, I've been there. I've been the starter in the past, and I've seen a lot of time. I know the playbook. I know the system really well. So it's been fun. It's been really competitive, and It's been a good time.
Tell me a little bit more about Connor Riley, because over the years we've seen him just hold the clipboard. What does he bring to this team?
Well, Connor has a cannon strapped to his shoulder. He really has. He has a great arm on him. He's a young guy and he's willing to learn. He's willing to do whatever it takes to try to win, to try to get out there on that field. So and he brings a confidence with him right now that he's doing a great job with.
What's your relationship with P.J. Walker? He's going to come in and he's going to try to be the quarterback next year, and it looks like he has a bright future here at Temple.
We're interested to see PJ out on the field. You still got to earn your stripes when you come in. Any freshman does. I had to, and everyone else has to. But I've had a little bit of interaction with him. He seems like a real good kid, and we'll see how he can play when he gets here.
Chris Coyer joins us in studio, Philly's #1 college radio station, WHIP. Zach Gelb, Hayley Condon, and John Henry here with you. And Chris, we've also seen a lot of shuffling around of other positions on this team. Last year, Cody Booth was the tight end, and I know you and Cody had a good relationship, but now he's lining up at offensive lineman. How'd that change come about?
Well, we just saw a spot where we needed a little bit of help at the time, a spot at the tackle position where maybe we weren't as experienced. Losing a guy like Martin Wallace last year, it definitely hurts a little bit. And Cody's a guy he's a leader on the team. He's willing to do it. He's a big guy. and he's smart enough to take on that role, having to move over into the line.
Well, you were a quarterback, and you still have a chance to be the quarterback come Notre Dame, and I'm sure it's going to be a rigorous battle in there and camp, but you lost a lot of offensive linemen, like you mentioned, and the receiving corps doesn't have that much experience. When you look at the receivers early on in this camp, and I know it's been early, what have they looked like so far throughout the course of this camp?
Well, we've got a couple of seniors, a couple of older guys that have seen a lot of time in the past. Some of them not necessarily as much last year, but 2 years ago I'd seen some time. And we've got a lot of young guys with a lot of with a lot of talent, and we're excited about that receiving corps.
And this team, they lost Bernard Pierce 2 years ago, and then they lose Matt Brown this year. Those are two very good running backs. You also lose Montel Harris to the NFL draft as well. The running backs on this team, what could we expect out of them come opening game up against Notre Dame?
Well, similar to the receiver position, we've got Kenny Harper, who's had some experience back there, who's seen some time, and he's been shuffled around a little bit as he was last year. But we've got a lot of young talent there as well, and we're interested to see. We're excited to see how they do.
Chris, this team was going to the Big East, and then you had the whole conference change come again. Now knowing, and I know you're not going to be here when they go into the new conference, do you think this team is finally starting to find their identity now under Coach Rule, and now knowing that they're going to be going to a different conference in 2 years?
Well, I think we've got a little bit of ways to go yet, but I think under Coach Rule, I think we will find an identity and some things that we need to bring back, and some new concepts that he brings to the table. So I think it's a real exciting and real uphill future for this team.
I just get a feel that the fans in this area are getting a little bit more excited about this program. And as a player that's been here under Al Golden, under Adazio, now to see Matt Rule come back, I would have to imagine that makes you feel good a little bit that the fans are starting to get excited about Matt Rule being the football coach and what he could possibly bring to the table.
Well, it's great. It's great. We love to see fans out of the games, and attendance keeps rising year in, year out. So it's exciting to see the way that the city and Temple is starting to rally around this team a little bit.
Do you like playing at Lincoln Financial Field? Because over the years we've had callers call into here and they've said Temple we'd love to get an on-campus stadium. But do you like playing at the Link?
I do love playing at the Link. It's such a great stadium. It's one of the best in the National Football League, and because of that, it's one of the best in college football. It's a great stadium to play in.
And as a guy that's been here for a while, you've seen a lot happen with this football program and kind of the change that has occurred. Let's say you have a recruit that comes in for a visit, meets with Coach Rule, and they bring in a quarterback, and they say, Chris, can you just talk to him? What's your pitch to try to bring that recruit here to Temple University?
First off, the Coach Rule isn't afraid to throw the ball. You're going to be doing a lot of different things, and he will use any player to the best of their ability.
And the expectations are a little bit higher than they were in years past. Rule was at the basketball game, and he talked about wanting to put a championship trophy in that building. Do you think this team is capable of doing that?
I think we are capable of doing it. Like I said, there's a lot of pieces you have to put together, but we definitely have the talent to do so.
Before we let you run, you've been a staple of this program for the last few years, and this is your final go-around, and you have the Cherry and White game coming up this weekend. We're going to be there, and we'll be watching you guys play. Just tell the fans why they should come out and enjoy some Temple Owls football.
Well, it's going to be a good time. We're going to, fanfare starts at 11, kickoffs at 1, and it's going to be a great time. Should be a packed house, and you're going to see some exciting football.
Well, what do you expect to play? Do you expect to do all kinds of three of the positions, quarterback, H-back, and tight end in this scrimmage?
Yeah, I expect to do a little bit of everything.
Well, Chris, we really appreciate you coming in. Thanks so much, and let's talk to you again real soon.
All right, thank you for having me.
Thanks, Coyer right there, and we'll take a quick break. And when we get back, we got a whole lot to do. Doug Collins is out at Sixers head coach. We'll talk about that when we get back. Philly's #1 college radio station, WHIP.